this computer. So, okay, welcome everyone to our very first class meeting. I want to welcome you to our CCNA 1. You are part of Cohort 2, which is beginning today. And obviously you will then work through CCNA 1 through 3 and hopefully through CyberOps. We are just super excited to have you here and have you on board as part of this. We are going to have a ton of material to cover. But it's going to be good material. A lot of it you may already know, and so that'll be the good thing is it'll fill in some blanks for you hopefully. But at the same time, it may be that some of these things are brand new to you, which especially if we get an IPv6 and some of that, it may be new. What I want to do today is we are going to have welcome and introductions. Everyone's going to introduce themselves, myself included, and I will here in a second. I'm going to teach you about Canvas and Netacad, those two sites, what their purposes are and what we're going to use them for, and discuss Netlabs with you, which is going to be a site that you will not even get access to until next week. So we'll go over all three sites, what they are, how we use them, and get you started in this course. Let me start first off with myself. My name is Kelly Caudle. I am the lead Academy Support Center and Instructor Training Center head here at Stanley Community College. I've been part of the Cisco Networking Academy for over 20 years. I actually started way back in the beginning of time, around 1999. I have worked at Stanley Community College for almost 25 years. Actually, a little less than that. It's about 23 years. I spent about a year and a half at another college working as a network engineer way back in the day. I am a CCNA, have had CCNP, CyberOps Associate, various other sundry certifications, Security Plus, CYSA Plus, those different certifications. The big thing I've done, like I said, I've been part of the Cisco Networking Academy since we started it here at Stanley Community College. I've been the lead instructor at our Instructor Training Center since we became an ITC several years ago. So been around the block a good while on the Cisco Networking Academy program. So can talk pretty well about what it is, how it works, and how effective it is at teaching people the skills they need to do well in the industry. My expectations from this class is I want to help you get the knowledge you need to teach the course, the knowledge you need to run the course effectively, and also the knowledge you need to get the academy running at your school if it's not already running. And so if you're just re-enabling the Cisco Academy at your school, which some of you are turning the academy back on, then that's going to be what we're going to help you do. And if you're just getting started, we're going to help you do that also. So our goal is to help you figure out the best way to also integrate the materials into your class, because you're going through the CCNA and the CyberOps class, but there's also a Linux Essentials class that if you're a Cisco Academy, you can use for free. That has built-in Linux virtual boxes in it or virtual machines in it so that you don't have to load anything on a student machine and they can learn Linux. There's a Programming Essentials in Python class. There's IT Essentials, which is A+. All of those classes are in addition to CCNA that are inside of Netacad. So there's also an Introduction to Cybersecurity Essentials. So we think about the Cisco Networking Academy only being CCNA, but that is not true. There are a large number of other resources inside of the Cisco Networking Academy that you can use. So that's my expectation and my hope. So I'm going to start at the top and just work down. So Uzma, I'll let you start off, introduce yourself, school, years you've been in IT, and any experience you've had and expectations.
So my name is Uzma. I am from University of the District of Columbia, which is in DC. And I have been teaching there since 2015 as a part-time and 2017 as a full-time. I have been teaching their Python Introduction to Python course, C++, which is CS1, Computing Foundation, and then Introduction to Web Page Development and HTML. I also teach in the physics department as a 101 physics course, but I don't know anything about networking. So I really want to learn the networking. That is my goal, and hopefully I will learn it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay.
I'll go next since I'm from UDC as well.
Okay, go ahead, Kia.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Kia, my last name is pronounced Xiang. It's spelled X-I, but it's a S-H, so it's Xiang.
Okay.
I am an adjunct professor. I started teaching for the University of the District of Columbia back in 2018. I have my master's in cybersecurity with University of Maryland Global Campus, but before that, it was UMUC. I got my master's when I was in the Army, so I spent about 10 years in the Army as an information technology specialist. That's how I was introduced to IT, and then just kind of stayed. Today, my day job is I'm the IT projects manager for UDC, and then in the evenings, I teach cybersecurity foundations. I'm currently teaching digital forensics, and I've also taught advanced network management. The name makes it sound like it's very advanced, but it's really, in my opinion, very foundational for our undergrad students.
Okay. For your forensics, are you using like FTK or FTK Toolkit or some of those products?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually using Autopsy, FTK Imager, OS Forensics. I have a lab set up, and my students will go through and do hands-on labs, and we discuss it. And so, yes, all of that.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm next. My name is Uzma. I'm from Hampton University. I've been teaching at Hampton in electrical and computer engineering since 2007. I don't necessarily teach directly in IT, but I've been involved with IT on and off for quite a number of years. First introduced IT back in around 1996 and served as a system administrator for Windows-based systems as well as Unix systems, and at one point OS2. And also did some system administration, network support as a faculty member for a year, 2008, 2009. And I am teaching currently, the closest course is Python programming as an intro for electrical and computer engineering students, and they've taught C++. So we are implementing a cybersecurity curriculum, and I'd like to get back into seeing the current trends and what's going on with networking as part of the skills built up.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention one of the things you mentioned, the University of Maryland Online. We actually just had about 14 or 15 of their instructors go through our instructor training classes, CCNA. So they're getting ready, hopefully, to start rolling out the Cisco Academy through the UMC campus, which is a big thing, which is be really, really good, I hope. So.
Yes, yes.
All right, Benjamin.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? I'm at Shaw University. My IT, I'm like an old IT guy, and so it's nice to come back to IT and do some IT. My experience, I worked for Lockheed Martin, IBM, NHD before Cisco bought it out. I've been a Cisco ambassador. I worked at WorldCom. One of my projects, we put the backbone into Internet 2. Spent several months doing that billion-dollar project. So this is a great thing. And, you've always spent time looking at the Cisco Networking Academy stuff. And so we're also a Red Hat Academy. So this is a great match for us and a nice overlay. So we're just trying to rekindle our campus networking capability and to make these great industry offerings to our students.
Benjamin, it's interesting you mentioned that. I had previous to this, but my other class is a CCNA one, also with the HBCU grant. But we talked about one of the instructors there stayed after when we were talking. We, as a Cisco Academy Support Center, obviously we support Cisco Academies. We are also we're a regional for the Palo Alto Cybersecurity Academy. We're a regional for the Red Hat Academy. And we also, actually, we're not a regional for Red Hat. We're a regional for VMware Academy, VMware IT Academy. Okay. And we help support Red Hat Academy. So actually last week we had a meeting where Red Hat gave an update on their academy. Palo Alto gave an update, and so did VMware. So if you look on my YouTube channel, which is where I will post this video, you'll actually see it was called April is ASC month. And you'll see last week if you want to kind of look at their programs and what's going on. If you decide to make us your Academy Support Center, which some of you are going to do that, we will help you with the other academies also. We've got experts on hand who can do all of the other academies.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're a huge VMware Academy. We train probably 400 students every 8 weeks in the VMware BCP, ICM-ONS classes. So we do it online through our IT Academy, which is another area that I'm over. So I'm like all of you, I wear a lot of hats at the school. So okay.
Awesome.
Dimitris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitris. I serve as the department chair for electrical and computer engineering at Hampton University. So my background is electrical and computer engineering, and I'm more of a devices guy. I design and do research on devices such as laser diodes, photodetectors, the modules that go into the actual networks. So I'm a little humbled by being in the presence of you guys who make sure everything is connected and functioning properly. So this is going to be a very educational experience for me. So hopefully I will grow in my understanding of how networks work. One of the things that I would like to do as an administrator is to incorporate more certifications at the bachelor's level, especially when it comes to engineering. So you normally don't see it for engineering. It's normally maybe in engineering technology or in computer science, but engineers generally don't do it. And I think our students are sort of at a disadvantage, especially on their resumes and things like that. So I want to see how we could potentially incorporate this certification within our curriculum for standard engineering. So we're partnering with, like this past year, we had a senior capstone design project where our students learned how to design and build a data center, right? But within the data center, you have all these racks, you have all these different types of things in terms of certifications that our students are at learning things at a level where they don't really get to get those certifications. So I would like to sort of be able to have our students still, be engineers, still design things, but also be able to incorporate some of these certification type programs within our curriculum. So thanks for having me. I will be learning a lot from you all.
It's very, very interesting. You mentioned data center because one of my other day jobs is actually this right here. I am responsible for, this is a Vertiv data center. I've got it way too big here. I'll try to see if I can get it to zoom out, zoom in. There it is. This is our data center that whenever you actually access our online Netlabs pods, this is the data center that we run, and actually we run it as, it's us, it's not IT. We run the entire thing. So sorry, my phone was ringing there. But this is it's called a Vertiv data center. It's a fully self-enclosed data center to where one side's cold side, the other side's hot. It's got dual air conditioning units that switch every 7 days. And then there's a 200 kilowatt generator that sits outside the building out here to power it with UPSs. But yeah, I've learned a lot in the past 3 years because we've been building this out and running it. So it's that is very, very interesting. It's also interesting you mentioned students who know engineering and know the hands-on, because if you've got both, that is the perfect employee. That's the student that everybody wants to hire and find. So I hope we can help you do that.
Yeah.
So, excellent. Okay, Sabrina, can you? I don't know if you're. Yep, there you go.
I'm here. Yep. Good afternoon, afternoon. I'm Sabrina Phillips. I currently teach at Mississippi Valley State University. I've been in IT since 2006. I actually worked for the industry before I transitioned over to teaching again. I worked for John Deere, Caterpillar, and Komatsu a couple times. Recently came back south to teach at the university. So it's kind of uniquely, I have a master's in engineering technology, but my bachelor's is in computer science. Now I'm working on a PhD for computer engineering. So at our school, we have a cybersecurity lab, which we're trying to get up to date. And that's why I'm into this class, so I can get the students up to par on cybersecurity and computer networking. So basically those are my expectations. So I'm excited to learn different things that I can introduce to the students at the university.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Steve? Steve is, yep. Can you hear me, Steve? There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Steve Stallings. Like you, I am a jack of all trades. I teach for about 5 different colleges right now. Ranges anywhere from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical, where I teach aeronautics and aerodynamics and accident investigation, all the way to the computer side. I also teach for CompTIA. All of it came because I got tired after 30 years and retired from the Air Force, and being in the airplane business that whole time, I needed something new to keep the brain working. And I enjoy this. I teach project management, ethical hacking, all of the CompTIA series and most of the Microsoft series. I've just never been in the Cisco environment. No particular reason, just wasn't an opportunity. So I'm hoping that at the end of this, I'll be able to spell Cisco unassisted 2 out of 3 times.
That'd be excellent. I will tell you too, once you, if you do go all the way through the CyberOps associate, being associated with CompTIA, one of the things I learned pretty quickly is once you finish the CyberOps associate, you can do just a little bit of study and pass the CYSA plus with no problem. So there's a lot of overlap in that CyberOps associate class and the knowledge and what's in the CYSA plus. So that's a good little thing you can kind of put in the back pocket for down the road.
Terrific, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robert, I think you may be our last one left. If you can hear me, Robert. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Okay, yes. My name is Dr. Robert Stephen Owar. I am from Albany State University. I have taught computer science for 17 years now. Literally taught everything. I have also been in cybersecurity, but I've never been in Cisco, so I'm excited to be in this class. And I've always wanted, I've taught some Cisco as well, while teaching cybersecurity, but I have never got the certification. So I'm interested in getting the certification and helping my students get the certification as well. I'm interested both in the CCNA networks and the CCNA security, as well as other Cisco courses. So I'm excited here to learn, and I'm just enthusiastic and waiting to learn something more. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. I will tell you, one of the things is you are not required to get certified to teach in the Cisco Networking Academy. So I want to go ahead and tell that up front. You do not have to get your CCNA to teach. And even the way this works is once you finish the first class, if you're ready to offer a class in the fall at your school, as soon as you finish CCNA 1, you can teach CCNA 1. And then when you finish CCNA 2, you can teach CCNA 2. But I will say, I'm certified. I strongly recommend that everybody, if I'm going to ask my students to become certified, then I feel like I need to be certified.
Yes.
And so I require my instructors, especially those teaching VMware, to all have their VCP. We have 13 VCPs that teach for us, which is kind of insane if you know what a VMware VCP is. But if you don't have to get certified, I do suggest it. However, go ahead, Kia. I see your hands raised.
Yes, just a quick question. So the good thing about my job is while I teach there, I'm also the IT project manager, so I know what we're rolling out. We are all in the process of implementing Netlab. Will you take us through like an actual Cisco Academy course from Netlab, or how to set it up?
Yeah, well, there's two things I can do there. First off, you're going to be using our Netlab, so you will see how it works from a student perspective.
Okay.
The second thing I will do, anybody who wants to be in, we'll schedule another call because it's kind of beyond what the class is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I'll bring in Brandon Crump, who's my data center lead, and we will all sit down. You know, we've all supported our Netlab system, so I've supported it for over 15 years, almost 17 years. So we'll sit down and talk to your team and kind of give you an idea of how it works and what goes on.
Okay.
So you'll be, the good news is you're going to see it from both sides. You're going to see it from the student side and you'll see it from the administrator side also.
Okay.
So we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, and we would be interested in that as well.
Okay.
At Shaw, we're under a little pressure. We're only like 250 feet from Red Hat headquarters. So
right.
that pressure is always bearing down on us.
Definitely. Well, and what I hope to see Shaw do, I mean, honestly, I went to NC State, but they don't want to start a Cisco Academy for some reason. So I'd love to see your Cisco Academy be like the premier Cisco Academy there. And because you get it, you understand the students have got to have the theory and the hands-on. And that's the key. So anything we can do will definitely help, most definitely. I guess I didn't mention that. Both, you'll find this funny, both my degrees are in English. Yep. I've got a BA and an MA in English. Now I do have a graduate certificate in information assurance and certifications, but I also spent 3 years in biochemistry as an undergrad. So if you've ever had the Myers-Briggs test, people think it's wonderful to sit right in the middle, but that's the worst possible place you can be because one day you want to read Shakespeare and one day you want to read a technical manual. And so it was kind of funny. My final class in my master's degree for English was computers and linguistics. And I was like, I like these computers a lot better than I like linguistics. And so I knew really when I graduated, I wouldn't work with my master's degree in English. And so I quickly started doing networking. And so I joke to people and say, you know, if you can read and if you have an interest, you can learn IT because it's just a matter of logical thinking and taking the time to learn it and you can do it. So, but yeah, my background's a little different than a lot of people who are in IT. But I do think that's also the strength of this group. We got engineers, we got people with military experience. I teach a lot of military folks too. I actually trained for the Navy up at Dam Neck, excuse me, at their Information Warfare Center. I trained their instructors, and those instructors are then teaching the sailors the part of the IT or the Cisco Academy. So it's good to have those strengths because it really helps when we start going through a class to talk about the different areas. So what I want to do now, thank you first off for your introductions. It's great to have everybody here. And like I said, I'm super excited to have this class. I want to talk about our main areas that we're going to use. Now, the first one that you should have already logged into, if you have not, is canvas.stanley.edu. Now, this site, once you get logged in, you're not going to see these 10,000 different classes like I have because I'm teaching that many classes and got this many different things. But you will see Cohort 2 CCNA 1. All right. So once you get logged in using the information I sent you, your username is your Stanley email address. And then there's a blurb in that email I sent on what the password is supposed to be. And it's based upon your date of birth and all, so you can see that. But once you get logged in, this is what you're going to see. And you're going to see this class welcome start here. So we're going to talk about the 3 main systems we will be using. This first one, canvas.stanley.edu, is quite honestly just the initial system that you will use for login to get your seat token for NetAcad, which is the netacad.com is the actual Cisco Networking Academy site. And that's pretty much it. That introductory assignment you need to do in Canvas, which is required because this is where we, quote, take attendance. All right. So like you, I am a state or a university organization. So we have to prove that you attended the class. So That's what the initial assignment is when you do your introduction. So this site, once you get in here, really the big thing is do this introductory form assignment for me. Because if you fill that out, and 6 of you've done it so far, if all 16 in the class get that done, that's required. If you don't get it done, I had to drop you from the class. Okay. So, all right, we got a question here. Let me pull my chat out so I can see it. Still cannot get in, Benjamin? Okay, we'll work with you. The other thing you can do is if you are having trouble getting in, I strongly suggest going to Stanley's website, which is www.stanley.edu. Go to Tech Support, and then in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little here, you can open a chat. So click there, and then you can open up a chat with our folks, and they can help you get your password reset and get in. Okay, but some are not. No, you are part of the correct domain, Dr. Holland. You are supposed to be using your Stanley email address, which I sent to you in an email, but your Stanley email address would be your username for canvas.stanley.edu. Okay. Tech support, I don't know what they told you there or who that was, but your login is your Stanley email address. And then the initial password was part of that document that I sent you, that email that I sent you.
If you call them, you can solve quickly.
Yeah.
Today morning, they helped me a lot.
Yeah. And you can also just call that phone number, 704-991-0222, and they can help you. They're here typically through 6 o'clock, so they won't be here much longer. But if you don't get in tonight, you can call in the morning and they'll be available. They do a pretty good job. They really do. Okay, Kia, you got a question?
Yes, so I'm trying to get my seat token. Where do I find that? Is that in the email as well?
No, it is not. Hold on one second. I'll cover that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So do your introductory form, but to get logged in here, that was part of that initial email that I sent you. Okay. So this canvas.stanley.edu, I do have links to these other sites, but we'll directly go to those for the most part. Now, your seat tokens, as you were asking, the next item that you're going to want to get access to is netacad.com, which is the actual Cisco Academy site. So I'm going to pull it up in a different browser so that it's not logged in. Okay. So on the...
I need help there.
Hold on one second. Let me get this over. So this is netacad.com, okay, before login. So this is the pre-login. If you don't already have an existing Netacad account, what you're going to do is you're going to use this process right here. There's a document which teaches or tells you exactly how to use the seat token, okay? Very important. If you have an existing account, put, I currently have a Netacad login. If you don't, say I am new. It will then prompt you to create a new account. I strongly suggest for your account that you use your school email address. Don't use your Stanley email address, because you want an email address that you're going to have continual access to. Or if like, I think Steve Roberts, you mentioned you worked at a bunch of schools, you may want to use a personal email address, because this account will stay with you from now on. Okay. Now, the question was, Kia said, where do I get my token? Well, it's right here. Everybody's seat tokens are listed right here. So please don't use a neighbor's seat token. That's your seat token. So there's yours right there, Kia. All right. So again, inside of Canvas, seat tokens are right here. The process to use them is right here.
Okay, so you went directly to netacad.com.
Go to netacad.com, correct? But now you've got to, because you don't have an account yet, you've got to use this process. And so what you will do is you're going to go to netacad.com, just like it's saying here, go to netacad.com. You're going to go in and you're going to say, okay, I need to redeem a seat token.
Redeem a seat token. Okay, there you go.
And then you're going to say, I currently have a login, which if you do it, will ask you for what that login is, or I am new. And if it's new, it's going to ask you to put in all this information. This is where I suggest do not use your Stanley email address. Use your Yes, Steve, you can change your Netacad email once you've entered it. Yes, and I'll show you how to do that here in a moment. You just go to your profile and you can change if you've already used if you did use your Stanley email to create your account, not a problem. You can just change it inside your profile, not an issue at all. Okay. But so you'll put this in and put your seat token in. It will then email you a link, and it's going to email your email and with the rest of the setup process. So just doing the seat token is not enough. It then sends you an email and you've got to walk through completing your registration. So make sure you get put in your email address correctly. Once you've done this, you will have access to netacad.com, and you should see on Netacad, you should have an I'm Learning tab, and you should see this class right here. Okay. And I can see right now these are the folks who've already who've actually redeemed their seat tokens.
Okay, yeah, mine says mine has already been redeemed. Did somebody take my token?
Somebody may have, but that's not a problem. I can get you another one. So just give me a second. I'll get you one. In fact, it's kind of this will show y'all how easy it is to do seat tokens. I literally can come in here, just go add students. I can go manage seat tokens. I'm going to add 10 of them just so that I make sure I get one that's not in use. Okay, so let's grab this one right here. Just you try that one right there, Dimitris.
All right, you put it, where'd you put it here?
Right here, I'll put it in chat for you.
In chat.
Let me put it in chat. And I'll send it just to you. So hold on one second. Try this one, see if it'll work for you. Okay.
Right, screen, okay.
Did it work?
And now it says screen name or email address already enrolled. Who used my, well, I'm not sure. My email is already enrolled.
Now, wait a minute. It may be, honestly, it may have already went through, and it sometimes it goes through and it acts like it doesn't, but
Okay,
yeah.
I got the email. So that's,
You're in.
Yep,
You're good. It does that sometimes. Sometimes it'll give you a little thing saying it's been used, but what it really was, it was your token had already been sent through. So I see you in the class now. So again, the main thing that I really have got to have you do today or in the next 2 days is this introductory forum assignment. So make sure you get that done in canvas.stanley.edu. Then redeem your seat token, and then you'll be in the class. Okay. And that's this class right here. All right. Any questions about that before we move on? So this canvas.stanley.edu is really only going to be used for that initial assignment and to get your seat token. It also is where the course syllabus is at. Okay, so let me pull up the course syllabus. And I want everybody, I have a couple rules. One, we don't freak out, okay? And we try not to cry. There's no crying in networking. I've actually had some students cry at a contest, and it was funny. Well, not funny, it wasn't funny, but I had to tell them there's no crying in networking. But let's talk a little bit about the syllabus here. This is our course that runs from May 3rd to July 12th. We don't have a lot of wiggle room in terms of the next course when it starts. I think yours is a little bit later. I think you got a couple weeks between the two. So if you don't finish exactly by July 12th, we may have a week or two we can play with in there to give you some extra time. We're not going to have a huge amount of extra time to give you, however. I'm available whenever you need me. Just let me know. I try to answer emails on the weekends. I try to answer emails on my phone. If we need any meetings past our normal Tuesday meeting from 3 to 4, I'll do whatever I can to have meetings with you. So I'm available by appointment pretty much whenever you need me. All of your textbook, everything is provided free online. I'll show you how to read the materials here in just a minute. You do need a computer with high-speed internet and a HTML5 browser. That's really all you need for this particular course. This course is called Introduction to Networks, and it looks at the architecture, structure, functions. I'm not going to read this to you. It's a introduction to networks, covering everything, folks, from LANs, WANs, PANs, SANs, OSI model, IP addressing, both IPv4 and IPv6, subnetting, how to configure a router, how to configure a switch, a basic router and switch configuration in this first course. And then basic troubleshooting. So, looking at things like, okay, I got the wrong subnet mask, or I put the wrong IP address in. Those types of things are part of this particular course. Now, you will see as you look through this class, a ton of work. There's something like 44 different packet tracers. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about what packet tracers are and talk about the assignments themselves during our class meeting. But you're going to see packet tracers and labs. I'll talk about what each of those are tomorrow. But one thing I want you to realize is you're not going to have to do every single one of these assignments. This syllabus has been created as if you were a full student class, in which case I would expect you to do every single assignment. All right. You're an instructor training class. So I expect for you to take all the module chapter exams, so all of our module exams, and to complete roughly 80% of the packet tracers and labs. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, you did 73.7% of the labs. I'm failing you. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work with you. Okay. If you feel like, there's a packet tracer or a lab and you're like, I know what this is, and you didn't do it, I'm not trying to help you not succeed. My goal is to help you succeed. So I'm looking for you to do about 80% of the packet tracers and labs, and I'll explain what packet tracer is and what those labs and all are tomorrow in our class meeting. The other thing is you will need to make a 75 or higher on the final written exam, which is a chapter exam, which is inside the class. I'll show you that too. And then there is a skills exam lab final, which is a hands-on lab that you must complete and pass before I will move you into the next course. And it's configuring a router. Okay, so it's a basic router configuration and a basic switch configuration. You'll use our Netlab system to do that on real equipment. So I'm really big on hands-on. We're going to do hands-on labs using real gear using our Netlab system. And that's the last piece of the puzzle that I will show you, but I'm not even going to show you that system until next week. So you can see we don't have anything due really this week. In fact, we start next week on 5/11. We're going to be reading module 1 and working on module 1 labs. But if you want to go ahead and read module 1 now, you can. Okay. And by the way, after you read module 1, then I would read modules 2 and 3, and then I would read modules 4 through 7. We're going to read all the content. Okay. Who's got a question? Like, Kia, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm. So there is a class tomorrow at 3?
Correct.
Okay.
3 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll send the link out in the morning for it. 3 to 4 tomorrow. Okay, Kia? I think you had your hand raised.
Oh, no, sorry, Kelly. I didn't lower it from earlier.
Okay, that's no problem. No problem. Yes, that is correct. We have a class tomorrow from 3 to 4 where I will go into detail on what the assignments actually are. Okay. So I would suggest, obviously, one of the things here, once we're reading, we're going to read all the modules. So as you are reading through, these are the modules and when I expect you to have them read. Now, here's one of the other things I want you to realize. I put due dates on everything, but you're adults. And I also know that there's going to be a week in the summer where you're going to have vacation. In fact, guess what? Not this week, but the week after, I'm going on vacation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so there's going to be days when you don't hit these due dates. That's okay. These are not set in stone due dates. If you miss them by a day, I'm not going to fail you. Now, if this was a student class, yes, I take all points for every day you miss. But you're not students, you're instructors. The reason I even put due dates is I have learned if I don't put due dates, you're like me. If it doesn't have a due date, I just don't do it. I'm so busy that I'll go, that can be put off. That can wait, that can wait. So I put due dates on there just to give you a goal to shoot for, a marker, so that you will have something to shoot for. But they're not absolute drop dead due dates. If you don't hit them, it's okay. Having said that, if we're, into June and you haven't done anything at all, then that's going to be a problem for you, because you're getting so far behind, you're really setting yourself up to fail. So just be aware of that. Do try to stay somewhat close to the due dates. But you'll see here all these items, and I will go over why some are in bold and why some are not tomorrow. Okay, but you can look here. Now, one of the things it says is read module 1. So what I want to do is go back to netacad.com. And if you are in the class and you go to I'm Learning, you will see our class here, and you can click Launch Course. All right, and then you're going to see the class here. As you scroll down, you will see that there is the course syllabus is here also. So you got the course syllabus. But if you want to read the content, you see where it says modules 1 through 3 course content. You click right here and it opens a new web tab. And then right here, folks, is the module. And so we immediately can start reading. One of the very first things that you will need to do is download Packet Tracer, which is a special simulation tool that I will go over tomorrow in detail. I'm going to go over Packet Tracer in detail. But there are videos in here to tell you about what Packet Tracer is and to also show you how to download and use Packet Tracer. Okay, so when I say to read the materials, you're going to open up the materials and you're going to read inside of here. This is your class, quote, textbook. Okay, now again, the beauty of this is this means your students don't have to buy books. All this material is sitting right here. And this is what we're going to, most of our classes based off of is right here, all the material. So as long as you have an HTML5 browser, you can read this and you can see it, and you're able to run it. And what I love about it, as you'll see there, you'll read, and then right below that, there's a little quiz that helps you reinforce the content that you just read. Which connection physically connects the end device to the network interface card, and it goes all the way through, and you can check it. If it's right, it says it's right. If it's not, it gives you incorrect. So there's little quizzes as you go through your reading to help reinforce it. Cisco's been at this game for a long time. The Cisco Academy has been in existence for over 20 years. So they really do have a good system and a good way of teaching the materials to students. Okay, questions about where you go to read things or to read the course materials. All right. You also notice inside of here that I already have lectures for you for modules 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to watch the module 1 lecture, you can click here and it will open up in here, a module. Okay. So you're able to actually watch the lectures for the chapters that I have so far. So up to chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9 are coming. All right. So that is where you will do your reading. And it's also where you're going to find your Packet Tracer labs and your other labs, but I'm going to show you that tomorrow. So let's go back here real quickly. Netacad.com is the main class site. It's where you're going to do all your readings and where the text quote is found. It's also where you will find your class. And I've already given you the demo of it. So questions about netacad.com. This, by the way, is where all your students will go to do their classes. And it is the primary Netacad or Cisco Networking Academy site and has been for some time. All right. Now, there are some future sites we will use. Okay. Netlabs.Stallings. Any known issues installing packet tracers in a VM. There are no known issues that I'm aware of. There are actually, if you go look at Packet Tracer, there are Linux versions and there are Windows versions. I will tell you that tomorrow I'll mention this, but you need to get Packet Tracer 8 64-bit. And that's something I'm going to tell you tomorrow to download, but Packet Tracer 8 64-bit is the version that you need to get and to use for this class. But there's no known issues that I'm aware of. There is an issue if you're running on a Mac with drag and drop. And so if any of you are running on a Mac, email me or let me know tomorrow and I'll share that fix with you. It's really a kind of weird fix. You have to put the files on the desktop because it's a permission error with a third party. Okay, Sabrina, I will email me please and let me know that, and I will send you once we get Packet Tracer up and going, I'll send you how to fix that drag and drop issue with Packet Tracer. But no, there's no known issues of putting Packet Tracer in a virtual machine. Yeah, our other system, like I said, will be this system, which is pretty amazing, really. This is called netlabs.stanley.edu. This is, I will be creating you a class, but basically this is where you can reserve actual gear. So I'll show you one of the very first labs. By the way, we have more than 4 pods. We actually have 16 pods. So just make sure you click the arrow to go over. So we have 16 pods of gear, but when I make this reservation, and I do this quickly because I'm not even giving you access till next week, and I'll give you detailed instructions next week on how to do it. But when you do this, it actually starts booting up real equipment in that data center I showed you. So we have real Cisco gear that right now is booting inside of that cabinet. It's set up on specialized APC UPSs, and right now there are 2 switches booting up in the inside of there, and there are 2 virtual machines that are booting that will be mapped so that they appear to be on ports 06 and 018. But this is real gear. It's not a simulation, which is why I love Packet Tracer. I think it's a great program, but it's still a simulation. This is real equipment. So it really teaches your students how to use it and the differences between real gear and Packet Tracer. I'll also be discussing with you as we move forward the process for your school to get real gear to put in the classrooms for your students. All right. So I'll come back to this and show it to you again in a second, but that is a system we will use as we move forward. I will be, again, 13th of May to May 16th, I will be on vacation at Virginia Beach. I will be checking emails, but it may be a little slower. And on the weekends, I am a little slower to respond to emails, but I usually try to respond on the weekends if I can. It's rare that if you email me that I won't respond within 24 hours. It does happen, but it's fairly rare, except on weekends, it's typically a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I'm a little slower getting back on voicemails, because it's just a little harder for me to get to voicemail. So if you really, really need me, email me, because that's probably the fastest way to get in touch with me, typically. Okay, so at this point, the most important thing for you to have done or to do is to log into canvas.stanley.edu to get that successfully taken care of. And again, if you're having problems, you can go to our stanley.edu page, call this number in the morning, okay, because they're getting ready to close here in about 8 minutes. Call this number and they will get you figured out and get you logged into Canvas. Once you're in Canvas, do this introductory form assignment for me. All right, and it's just a real short intro, who you are, how long you've been in networking, those types of things. Then you need to redeem your seat token using this method right here to get in your NetAcad class. And then what I would strongly suggest is, obviously not tonight, because you're probably not going to do anything tonight, but if you were, I would go ahead and start reading module 1. Okay. And then tomorrow in our meeting from 3 to 4, I will go over what these assignments are and what I expect out of you for these assignments. All right. So, questions?
Kelly, your tech support is excellent. I can get into my courses now.
Okay,
and
good.
Then I'll catch up and do all that other stuff, maybe in the morning. Well,
okay,
the next day or after class.
That is no problem whatsoever. I understand. No
Okay.
problem. If everybody can at least redeem their seat token by tomorrow afternoon before 3, that would help a lot. So
okay, I'll get my seat token tonight. Then.
Okay. If you have any problems with it, email me and I'll try to help you with those too.
I did it right now. Thank you.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
No, just one interesting question. Are we using Zoom or WebEx?
We are going to use Zoom for right now. I know it's a Cisco class. Let me tell you why I use Zoom. The reason I use it, because I used to use WebEx all the time, but WebEx had a thing to where when you saved a file or a recording, you had to then convert it to an MP4 upload it to YouTube. Well, Zoom saves to an MP4 automatically. Well, the new WebEx will save to MP4, but I've been so busy I hadn't had time to actually play with the new one. I will tell everybody, one of the great things they now have is if you are a Cisco Networking Academy instructor and you're certified to teach, you won't have access to it yet. But if you're actually accredited to teach CCNA 1 or one of the career certification paths, you actually can get a free WebEx license. And this is the full WebEx. This is it allows 1,000 people.
Uh-oh, incentives.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, there we go.
Incentives. So actually, I haven't done it yet, but you know, I may switch over to WebEx, and actually I will use it because it is there. But once you get accredited, you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to use that. So just be aware that that is available, and that's one of the free things that's a perk for being part of Cisco Networking Academy. And what they did is they actually just created a full enterprise instance of WebEx for the NetAcad program. And then all instructors who are accredited to teach anything that leads to a certification will have access to a free, full working WebEx account. So the only thing you have to be careful with is if you got one of the free limited accounts when they offered them last year during COVID, and that email address is associated with that old limited account, what you're going to need to do is change that email address before you request the new one, because the email address is how they keep up with you globally in terms of an instance of WebEx. So just be aware of that. We can talk more about that as we get closer to using WebEx, but that's the only reason we don't use WebEx. So just to make my life a little bit easier. Okay, any other questions? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and then any other questions, any other issues? Any comments? Okay, be on the lookout in the morning for an email from me with the link for tomorrow's meeting. And also that will be the link that is for every Tuesday meeting from now until July 12th, till our class ends. Okay. All right. Well, folks, that's all.
Thank you very much.
You're
Yes,
very
thank
welcome.
you.
That's all I have
Thank
for
you very
tonight.
much.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. I will see you tomorrow then. Have a good night.
All right, good night. Good night.
Thank
You have a good night.
Pleasure to meet y'all.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.